Okay, yes, go to Big Break at Momstown. No, don't go there. Email bigbreak@momstown.com and let us know you're watching the show. We would love to hear from you, and we'll give you a shout out on the next show.
Be sure to send your put your email in at our website at momstown.com so we can send all of these beautiful, fabulous presentation skills and tips to you free through our newsletter. Thank you so much, Sherri, for being with us today, because this is a great topic.
It's a great topic. It's one that, you know, I went through Toastmasters, National Speakers Association, and, you know, radio and TV, and you get over yourself if you get some training, right? So let's go back to the body language, because that's really interesting. Like I was saying, this is such a great idea. That is incongruent, like you were mentioning, right?
Well, and many of the things aren't even that obvious that people do with their body language. And most people are shocked to find out that over 55% of your message comes straight from your body language. Only between 7 and 10% of your message comes from the words you're saying. And so you have to make sure that that voice and that body is backing it up. And I'm trying just posture alone, getting people to stand up and exude the confidence, to make the eye contact, to eliminate the flippy little gestures that diminish credibility.
The nervous energy coming out.
The nervous energy coming out. And I'll tell you, women in particular, we're not enculturated to own our space. And that wreaks havoc with our body language issues.
Okay, but now the flippy little things. I talk with my hands.
I do too.
Okay, is that a mistake? No, because I am always talking with my hands. I'm like, all of a sudden I'm self-conscious about talking with my hands.
No, not at all. But what happens is when women talk with their hands as if their elbows are glued to their sides, then the gestures become very tight and small and flippy.
I have to
like
duck.
this.
No, I have to duck
Yes, when I
teach
teach women to own their space, the classic example is if you've ever seen a man or a woman get on an airplane and take the center seat. Men and women do this entirely differently based on the way we're enculturated. Exactly. Women cross their legs and move in so that they create space. Men plant their feet and put both hands on the armrest. They claim their space. And so when women speak in particular, we need to make sure that our gestures are not such that we're diminishing our credibility, but we're claiming our space. It's perfectly appropriate to use gestures and speak with your hands, but you want to make sure that you own that space.
And you want to be sitting up tall, making eye contact.
Absolutely.
And these are great skills for our kids.
Oh, yeah.
We are role models, and if we're shy and contracted and hunched over when we are called on, our kids are going to go, Mom's scared. I don't feel good. That doesn't exude confidence in the children.
And listening.
Exactly.
So,
and teaching our kids to be
you know
good
what?
listeners.
I really love tips because, I mean, we will put them in the
Virgo
newsletter.
Gal who
like
lists and tips.
Let's get to them then. That's great.
Yeah, so when we get the graphic up, we're going to have tips for a successful presentation. Remember the 3 R's.
What those 3
Reading,
R's
writing, and arithmetic.
No, well, my 3 R's are respect your message, respect your audience, and respect yourself. When you have trouble presenting or communicating, whether one-on-one or to a group, it's because one of those has slipped. You haven't put enough respect into your message to do the preparation so that you're prepared and confident. You haven't respected your audience enough to figure out what's in it for them. Why should they even listen to me? Or you don't respect yourself enough to do what you need to do to put your best foot forward. So that's the foundation, are those 3 R's.
Okay, and the next one is practice.
Do your research.
Do your research. We've talked about it. If you know your subject, you're not going to be thrown a curve. But if you run away from it, or you don't do enough research, you don't do enough homework, you're going to be afraid that someone's going to ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, and you really want to make sure that you've done that homework. So you go in feeling very confident. You know your product. If you're in direct sales, what are the products? What are possible objections? What are the questions that are going to come up? And be prepared to answer them by doing that homework.
And just like you said, so if the power goes out, you can still give your presentation if you are, if you've done your research and you're well prepared.
I was in a large corporation and I was doing 6 hours, of training, and the power went out. Luckily, we had an outdoor room. I did not dance, but we opened up the window and we did all 6 hours without any PowerPoint, any overheads, anything. And that's what you've got to be able to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then, of course, you said, well, practice your delivery. Organize your presentation, we discussed.
Organize, we talked about. Practicing your delivery is key because most people think
in front
that
of a mirror, too.
Well, a mirror is a great place to
videotape.
start. A terrific place to start. The only people I caution with mirrors are those that get really freaked out about certain facial expressions they have or gestures, because then they start to get nervous. So if you're one of those rare people, then you want to find a blank wall, an audience, a video camera, something else where you're not seeing it as it happens.
I do, when I was practicing to go on the road, my script, I would put my flip video camera on a tripod, a tabletop tripod, across the room, and I'm telling you, it's like listening. Okay, you know, people don't like to hear their voice on their answering machines. You don't like to see yourself on video the first couple times.
No,
but you get used to it.
You get
Comfortable
used
with
to it.
it.
And the key with practicing that delivery is saying it aloud. And that's what so many people don't do. They write it out, they write note cards, they go over it in their head, they walk around in a little tiny voice and practice. You need to get your tongue around those words. You need to hear it auditorily and actually get that muscle memory of these words coming out of your mouth. And that's what we mean by delivery, practicing the delivery.
Because you can also find words to emphasize and inflection and the facial expression,
Right.
things like that.
Yes, and I practice in my car all the time, and I love that people have cell phones and headsets now, because I used to do this years ago when people didn't, and I would drive around talking to myself in the car, and people would laugh at me and point. Now they just think I'm on a cell phone.
Now they just think you're on your cell phone.
Exactly.
So you don't look so crazy anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Anywhere that you can just say it aloud, use it. The shower, you name it.
Can you tell us what you also mean by reframe your
I was just going to ask that.
perspective? What does that mean? Reframe your perspective.
Reframing your perspective is one of the tips that I give for dealing with nerves and anxiety, because many people go into a presentation.
This is going to be key.
Oh,
Seriously.
It's key. Many people go in thinking that their audience is an adversary. It's like, I'm going to mess up and they're going to laugh at me. Nobody goes to hear a speaker or talks to someone on the phone or has someone come into their store and thinks, oh, I hope this person is terrible. I really hope I'm bored. I hope they're not good. They want you to succeed.
They want you to
so
succeed,
reframe
exactly.
your perspective and realize your audience, whether it's one person or a full room, they're your teammates. They're on your team and they want you to succeed.
Right.
So if you can make that dramatic shift, that's your foundation for dealing with your nerves.
So-
That's a great tip, because they're actually your advocates.
They
Yes.
are.
People who are
No one wants
your
to be
audience.
bored.
Nobody
no one wants to be uncomfortable.
Right.
No one wants
Absolutely.
to think you're
Because there's
terrible.
nothing more uncomfortable than feeling
Someone
for
bombing.
somebody who is up there and they're just
they're bombing.
sweating and
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Sherri, tell us quickly, how could someone work with you via Skype or in person if they wanted to hone their Arbonne message or their pitch for their small
any
business?
kind of presentation.
Well, they can
skills.
reach me through my website, which is thescholarlyfrog.com. I actually have a special, I'm very excited, a special Momstown offer right now that I'm doing. If they go straight to the homepage of my website, I'm offering a free 15-minute phone consultation with
nice.
anyone who would be interested in coaching. And they can just
Oh,
fill
look at
out the
that.
contact
Okay.
page. And I will get in touch with them and we can talk about what their needs are. And then we can schedule Skype, or we can schedule a face-to-face meeting if they're local. And we can talk about how we can really work to refine their message. And, you know, my background is academic, it's presentation skills.